Hello everyone, welcome to my stream. Today we're going to be playing Tiny Combat Arena, which is another indie game that's in early access. This game is developed by a single developer who goes by the name Y485, and I've been following this game for a long time. It's part of the inspiration for why I started my flight simulator series on YouTube. Uh, and Just like Gunner Heat PC, this game is in early access. You can play it right now. Yeah, it's not finished, but there's still quite a bit of gameplay that you can get into, even without the full release. So, before we get there, I want to talk about the art style of this game because I really like the art style here. Uh, so, Gunner Heat PC and a lot of other games go for a realistic art style, but this game aims for a more uh, cartoony, low poly, flat shaded look, which is visually distinct, but I quite like the way this looks. So you can see all the little polygons here on the side on the aircraft, and most 3D models try to hide these seams, but this art style intentionally tries to make these polygons visible because it is part of the art style. And another thing is the way the transparency is rendered here on the cockpit. It's not actually a transparent material. I don't know if you can actually see this on stream, but this is actually done with dithering. Like there's a stippling of dots here instead of actual transparent material, which fits in with the low poly retro style look that the developer is aiming for, and it gives it a very distinct look compared to pretty much any other game I've played. It is based off of some very old flight simulators that you might have seen that like came out in the 90s, and that was the inspiration the developer had to make this game. So stuff like A10 Attack Plane Cuba, something like that. That was one of the games that inspired the developer to go with this art style and to make a game of this style. So this game right now only has the Harrier, the AV-8B Harrier jump jet. That's the only player controllable plane, which is it's a jump jet. It has STOVL capability, so it has short takeoff, vertical landing capabilities. Because instead of having normal engines like a jet that you might think of, it just has these nozzles here, which really this is where the jet exhaust comes out of, and that's what pushes the plane forward. But these nozzles can rotate around to point straight down, and that allows the plane to take off and land vertically. So that's the main gameplay that's been added so far is flying a Harrier, which you can use for ground attack missions, for dogfighting, and so on. And I don't know if he plans to add any other planes later on. But even just with the Harrier right now, this is a pretty fun game with plenty of gameplay. So the other things we can look at in this database are all the other planes that are available here. So these are planes that you can't fly as the player, but they are available as AI in the game. So we have the F4 Phantom, the F5 Tiger, the MiG-21 Bison, MiG-23, and the Harrier again. So only the Harrier is flyable, and that's what I'm going to be flying today. There are some other weapons that we can look at, other vehicles. So these are just air defense vehicles. These are the various land vehicles that you can fight with or against on the ground. So we have tanks, yeah, American tanks, Soviet tanks. Under rotary wing, there's nothing here. Under munitions, we have the various missiles that you can use in the game. So we have AIM-7s, AIM-9s, AIM-82s, which is a missile that I didn't even know was a real thing until I played this game. And we have the various Russian missiles, which I don't think are actually used by AI planes yet. And then SAM missiles as well. So while the models here in the game is still early access, and I don't think every feature is implemented yet, so I don't think enemies actually shoot missiles at you ever. But that may be added in a future update, or it may have been added since the last time I played. At 1080p, the transparency dithering is clear. Okay, that's nice to know. And so far, the main threats that you're going to face in the game are just these radar-guided anti-aircraft artillery. So these are just machine guns that will shoot at you. If they hit you, they do quite a lot of damage. Especially this one, which isn't radar-guided, but this one just fires large cannon shells at you, and they can basically take you out in one hit. But anyways, let's actually get into the gameplay here. So there are two main game modes you can go into, Quick Battle and Arena campaigns. Quick Battle just lets you go into either free flight mode or some kind of attack mission. I'll just do free flight for right now, and we can just see what the Harrier is like to fly. So we're going to go with no loadout for right now. Take off from Sand Island Air Base and start on the runway. So one thing you'll notice as you play this game is that there are a lot of references to other games here. So Sand Island is potentially a reference to Ace Combat 5, where Sand Island is one of the main locations that you play from, but then again, Sand Island is also a very generic name, so it may be nothing. But there's some other references in here that you may notice if you're familiar with it. I'm also trying to experiment with an aircraft game. Any tips? That depends what you mean by trying to experiment. Like, are you playing it? Are you developing it? Because there's very different responses I could give to that question. So we're going to start this free flight mission here, taking off from the runway, and just seeing what it likes to actually play this game. So we're inside the Harrier here. We have a quite finely detailed cockpit. Like, this actually gives you real-time indicators for a lot of stuff here. And I can go to an external view that shows the aircraft. And so these gray nozzles on the side of the plane, this is what I mean when they say they are rotate. So if the nozzle is laid straight down, this will allow you to actually take off or land vertically. But of course, to go into normal flight, you need to actually because the plane is designed to spend most of its time flying normally. So I'll go back in the cockpit view here. Developing. So if you're going to develop your own aircraft game, you have to choose, like, one of the main decisions is just how realistic you want your game to be. So do you want it to be a simulator, sim-lite, Ace Combat-like, or anything like that? And there's all sorts of different ways you can implement all the the realistic features. You can choose how realistic or how unrealistic you want it to be. And that will have major implications on how the rest of your game is designed as well. So anyways, I'm going to try doing a regular takeoff here. So I'm going to throttle up. I'm going to just take off normally, like a regular airplane here. And now we're flying. I'm going to go back around to the runway and try to land on it normally as well. So this is going to be a very rough landing because I'm not lined up with the runway. And by the way, I'm not actually very good at flying or landing in games, so the landing is not going to be good anyways. But I'm going to land it here like a conventional plane. I'm going to show some of the other ways you can take off and land in this game. Yeah, I'm not doing a good job of lining up this runway. from up here you can see that the art style isn't just limited to the planes. The whole world is designed with this low poly, flat shaded look, which makes it quite distinct from pretty much any other game I've played. And if I was going to make, or rather I am planning on making my own kind of flight sim game like this, I do want to have an art style similar to this. Alright, so that was just a conventional takeoff and landing. The plane is parked again, and we are located somewhere slightly in the middle of the runway. So I can show off another feature of the aircraft here, which is that it has short takeoffs. If we rotate the nozzles while taking off, we can actually just fly upwards and take off on a runway that's much shorter than what we would typically need if on a conventional takeoff. So the nozzle, by the way, the HUD shows what the nozzle angle is there on the top right. It says nozzle 0. We rotate it to a higher value like 25 degrees or 32 degrees. We start taking off even though we're below the expected takeoff speed, and that allows us to take off from a much shorter runway. So then we slowly rotate back into nozzle 0, and we can continue flying like a conventional plane. And now I'm going to show the most difficult part, which is doing a vertical landing, which the Harrier, this is pretty much the main reason the Harrier was designed this way, so they can take off from very short runways like an aircraft carrier, and then land vertically like a helicopter without needing to have like an arrestor cable, or some other system to stop the plane rapidly like you would see on a conventional carrier. So there might be an ambulance on microphone. I can't tell if that's coming across. So I'm going to line up again over the runway here and just try to land nearby. Oh, I'm stalling. So we got distracted. It's crashed. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to do a short takeoff again. I'm going to try to do another vertical landing here. Now the plane is going very slowly in a forward direction because it's in fact hovering on these vertical jets. And it's very difficult to control the plane like this because we no longer have airflow over the wings or any other control surface. So the only way for the plane to maneuver is by sending out like jet exhaust through little thrusters on the wings and across the plane, and it gives you very poor control over the aircraft. So I'm moving backwards here. I need to move slightly forwards. So like a very clunky helicopter, I need to tilt forwards to kill my speed. Then I can start landing. There we go. Also, the nozzles can rotate past 90 degrees, and in fact, I had them at 100 degrees for a while there, so that's why I was moving backwards, because it was actually pushing me backwards, not just upwards. And now you can see this velocity vector indicator, this little plane-shaped symbol that's floating across the screen. That shows us where our velocity, like our world space velocity is. And just kind of hovering lazily around because I am moving at a very slow speed right now. So if I decrease my throttle, I'm going to start descending slowly. And this is very tricky to land like this because I'm not good at landing in general. I'm also not good at vertical landing. And there we go. So the fact that you can land vertically allows you to land on a very small surface like an aircraft carrier, and landing like a helicopter. So even a very small helicopter carrier can launch and recover carrier aircraft, which was an important consideration for militaries like the Marine Corps, the U.S. Marine Corps, or like the British Navy had Harriers, as well as some other nations, and they all shared the same trait, which is they did not have super carriers like the United States Navy. So they had to have an aircraft they could take off and land from much smaller ships, which is why they developed the Navy, or the Harrier. So I'm going to take off again here, and then I'm going to just go fly around and show what the flight dynamics are like. And take the parking brake off. I'm going to do another short takeoff here. And there we go. So yeah, while the takeoff and landing, the Harrier is quite unconventional. Once you're in the air and flying like an airplane, it just handles like a normal plane. So we have all the normal stuff to worry about. If you ever played a flight sim, it will be quite familiar once you're in the air. As far as I know, the flight model for this is simple, but still fairly realistic. It follows mostly the same design principles as my flight simulator series. So you do get induced drag whenever you turn. You have to worry about your energy, which will become very important when dogfighting, because going vertically here will cause your speed to drop significantly, even at full throttle. So now, even though I'm at full throttle, you can see my speed is slowly decreasing from 220 and eventually will drop down below 200. So I need to eventually exit this vertical climb. And then by diving down, we rapidly gain speed. And this is just the basics of energy management, so probably want to keep your speed around 300 to 350 knots for maximum maneuverability. Otherwise, you will find yourself unable to turn and unable to dogfight, and you'll be a sitting duck for all the other aircraft in the sky. And another feature that I want to show here that I need to get higher speed first is that whenever you start making strong turns, like pulling up, and you hit 8 G's of force on your turn, the pilot will start blacking out, and it will eventually affect your ability to fly. So right here I can start turning, and I think I'll be able to hit close to 8 G's. So the screen is fading to black right now. That's because the pilot has reduced blood flow to the head and is losing color vision and consciousness slowly losing consciousness. And the only way to resolve this is to reduce your turn or to stop turning entirely, and then you will return to normal vision. I don't think this game has an actual full blackout feature. So if you held an 8G turn indefinitely, I think it would just cause like the color fade out. But I don't know what they plan to do in the future. And the other thing is that if you do a strong negative G turn, you will get red out as well. And this one actually does cause you to basically black out and lose control. And if I held it longer, the screen would just go completely black and I would end up crashing. So you want to avoid doing negative G turns in a dogfight because that will hamper your ability to turn. And I don't think you can really get too strong positive G turns, but it's still nice that they included this feature. Okay, so I just activated the weapon mode here. I don't have any missiles. I do have a gun right now. So this is some kind of autocannon or minigun that's attached to the Harrier. I just like the sound that makes. So you can see that burr sound that you always hear when people talk about the A-10, but really any aircraft with a minigun type cannon is going to make that same sound. And also notably, we have very little ammo here, so I've already used up half of all my ammo. But anyways, I want to go into an actual mission now and try doing either a ground attack or a dogfight. Let's see. Okay, so quick battles. Instead of a free flight mission, yeah, I can do a dogfight here. So I have some allied airplanes I can choose, in which case I have 4 rookie F5s. And I can also have a number of enemy aircraft here. So I have 4 rookie MiG-21s. The loadout for this plane is Dogfight, which includes 2X AIM-9Ls and 6X AIM-82s. So we're going to go to our dogfight with a total of 8 missiles, 4 enemy planes, 4 friendly planes. So those are the friendly planes right in front of us. We have these F5s turning across in front. And we have these enemy aircraft in front of us at some distance away. Looks like we're about 3 miles away, and we do have a missile lock right now. Oh, what the heck? Yeah, I think I accidentally turned the throttle too low there. Anyways, we have a missile lock. We can actually launch at this plane and see what this missile does. Okay, it looked like that one missed. We do have another missile here. And if we can get a better angle, we can make sure the next shot doesn't miss. And you can hear that this missile lock tone has an actual realistic AIM-9 growl tone. So this like electronic buzzing sound is what AIM-9 missiles make, is the sound that AIM-9 missiles make when they lock onto a target. Alright, that's a hit. We got that plane with well, we fired 1 missile that missed earlier. But a single missile hit was all it took to shoot it down. And I've been firing AIM-82 missiles at them. I also have AIM-9Ls, and I don't actually remember what the difference is between these missiles. They are both infrared, and they both seem to have about the same range, so I don't know what their actual performance characteristics are. I can fire at this other plane as well. Another hit. I still have 5 missiles left. I want to use my gun instead of the missiles this time to actually shoot at these aircraft. I need to actually find where they are right now. Oh, you can see right there in the distance. There's a parachute right there because the pilot of that plane ejected. That's a nice little detail. So I'm looking for where the enemy aircraft are located. There's one right there. The green box shows enemy aircraft, the blue boxes are friendlies. So, actually I don't want to lock onto them with a missile. Yeah, I'll just fire a missile at them and I hope it doesn't hit. Nope, that was a hit. Only one left. I wanted to fire off that missile just to get rid of the lock tone, because that's kind of annoying whenever I don't want to use it. So here we have this plane, and this little star symbol with a dot in the center is the radar gun sight for the plane. So by locking onto the plane with the radar, I can now line up a gunshot and score a hit. My friend finished that off. But otherwise, the gun is still quite effective. Like, even when you're turning with an enemy and they are capable of dodging your missile, your gun can still be pretty effective against them. And the radar gun sight helps just line up your shot, so you don't have... I don't think there's actually a crosshair for where the gun is located. Or rather, whenever you're turning, the crosshair would only be at the center of the screen, and you need to calculate lead and drop manually. But the radar gun sight helps calculate all that lead for you. So I'm going to start another dogfight here, and use a different missile loadout this time. Instead of dogfight, I'm going with air superiority, which has the same missile loadout, but it also has 2x aim 7Es. So the previous missiles I was using were infrared missiles. These are radar guided missiles. So the Harrier has a small radar in its nose, which you can use to lock onto enemy aircraft. And then these missiles can be used at a much longer range. Oh my god, the throttle. Yeah. I just stalled out there and I couldn't keep the nose on target. Does this start out at 0 throttle? It's kind of annoying. I'm going to try that again. Okay, yeah, it does start out at 0 throttle, so that's why I just lost all my speed immediately. Okay, so the point of these radar-guided missiles is to attack from a much longer range, you need to have a radar to guide it, not just an infrared signature. But also, since the missiles don't have radar emitters on their own, you need to use your plane's radar in order to attack the targets, which is what this circle on the HUD shows. So if this circle is over the enemy target, then you have a radar lock on them and the missile can track. If the target exits this circle, then the missile loses track and it will miss. But as long as you keep the target inside the circle, you actually have a pretty good chance of hitting them with these AIM-7 missiles. So I'm going to go for another gun kill here, instead of using the other missiles. So here we have this plane in front of me, and I can line up a gunshot here. That's a very long range exit. I'm going to let this get closer before I can use this. Fighting right now is a MiG-21, which is a jet that has an afterburner on it, which makes this fight very unfair because the Harrier does not have an afterburner. So he can climb and gain speed much quicker than I can. And also this, the HUD is beeping for some reason. And there's like some kind of alarm or warning on this enemy target marker, but I don't know what that means. He might have a radar lock on me, but there's some parts of this HUD that I don't understand yet. I'm just trying to get a good angle on one of these planes so I can shoot at it. so my teammate took out that plane, and the other one as well. I'm just trying to get a gun kill here. Oh, you know what? This plane starts with its flaps deployed. That's why I was going so slow, but my flaps were down. Okay, without the flaps, I should have to be able to maneuver much more effectively. There we go. Got a gun kill on that one. Two more enemies here. I got 2 good hits on him, but still not enough to take him out. There we go. That's an F5. Where's the last one? Behind me. Alright, my teammates finished off the last enemy, but I got 3 gun kills there, which was a lot easier once I figured out that my flaps were down the whole time. Okay, so those were MiG-21s set on rookie difficulty. There are other planes here which are possibly a little more difficult to fight, such as the MiG-23s. And may as well set these guys to ace. I'm going to go with the air superiority loadout again. Now we have 4 ace MiG-23s. And the MiG-23 is, I think, a much larger, much faster jet than the MiG-21. It has a variable sweep geometry. And I think it's just a better all-around dogfighter. We got a hit with the missile. And these guys are going to be too maneuverable, so I can't have missiles now. That aircraft actually released flares whenever it noticed the missile was launched. But since I was directly behind him, the flares weren't enough to dodge. But in some cases, these flares are actually good enough that they can dodge missiles. I think there's a system, I think the infrared system is designed so that like the afterburner of a jet is significant enough heat source that it can, like, it's more prominent than the flares. So if the enemy has their afterburners on, the flares won't help you. But if the enemy does not have their afterburners on, they can actually dodge it quite well. And right there, I think that missile missed. So it can dodge missiles, but it can't dodge cannon fire. Oh, my mic is too quiet. Hold on, I can turn it up. All right, how's that? Okay, so I'm going to go for another dogfight here with air superiority again. This time I'm going to actually put more planes in the sky. So F4, a flight of 4, put these on veteran AI. And I'm going to put a MiG-21, flight of 4 on veteran as well. So now we have 8 on friendly side, 8 on the enemy side, as well as myself. So that's a 9 versus 8 battle here. And that's actually large enough that I might just run out of weapons before all the planes are shot down. Friendly took out 5. Should be at least 3 more left. I might have taken out others that I didn't see. There we go. It's all, I think I shot down 6 of them, which means my allies took out 2 of them. So this game has fairly realistic flight mechanics here, but a mission like that, it was almost like Ace Combat, where there's just a bunch of enemy planes in the sky. You have to, like, shoot down one, then quickly shift to shoot down the next one, all while dodging incoming fire. Although that time, I don't think the enemies actually fired at me. So I'm going to set up a new mission here with no friendly planes on my side. And 4 enemy planes here. And I'll see what this ends up being like. Yeah, let's go with the dogfight loadout. So we have to throttle up, retract flaps, and then we can go fight. So immediately, all 4 of these planes are targeting me. I think that's what that beeping sound means, is that they are now locked onto me. They don't use missiles, but they are going to attack me with their guns. I don't think I took any gunfire there. took a bunch of damage there. They're still shooting me. Okay, so I shot down 3 of those enemies, and then the last one got me. And there is an after-action report here, which reports I destroyed 3 fighters, and then I died. Yeah, okay, so these enemies are still capable of killing you, even though they only have guns right now. I think future updates are, I think the developer is planning on adding missiles for the AI soon. But, okay, let's set up a larger battle here. So we have F4s, and we have F5s and F4s. And let's put this on 4 as well. We have 23s, 21s, and I don't know what else. Okay, that should be fine then. So let's just do another air superiority loadout. We have 4 F5s, 4 F4s, 4 MiG-23s, and 4 MiG-21s. So this is another large battle, but this time the AI difficulty on my ally side is set up to a higher setting. Shows not just my kills, but also allied and enemy kills as well. So if you watch that, you can see that some of these allied planes are being shot down by the enemy, but also some of the enemy planes are being shot down by allies. So these AI planes are capable of dogfighting. They aren't perfect. Flares, but since I was directly behind him, his engine exhaust was more prominent, and the missile connected. Oh, there's someone shooting at me, so I should not have killed my speed like that. Broke off and it got shot down by my friends there. So enemy eye just saved me. Oh my god, all those allies just crashed into the ocean. So they were a little over eager to shoot down that one plane there. When's the next video coming? Also add interactable cockpit to your sim. I am already working on the part 3 for the flight sim tutorial. I do not plan on adding interactable cockpits to it. That's just out of scope for what the tutorial is supposed to be doing here. If you want an interactable cockpit, that is a lot of extra work to do. So I don't actually have the resources or the research material to do that myself. There's still one enemy here left, which is just a MiG-21. I am out of missiles, but I can probably get a gun kill on him. That was the last enemy aircraft. So I did take damage during that. I got a couple hits in the tail from that plane's wingman. Let's see, so I shot down 6. My allies shot down 2 of them. And the enemy shot down 3 of my allies. I know at least 3 of my allies also crashed. I don't know if that's counted here. I guess because they're destroyed, that counts as a win for the enemy. Okay, so these are just like quick mission builders. These are just quick missions that you can set up to very quickly get into the game and see the mechanics. The developer is planning to add campaigns and this arena mode, which is the namesake of the game, of course, Tiny Combat Arena. So the arena mode is much more complex. There's not just planes, but also ground targets, bases to capture, and let's just jump in and see what's actually in this mission. So we have this airfield here, which is where we're going to take off. We already have friendly planes taking off from there. We have enemy bases, which we have friendly ground forces that are going to advance from our base towards these enemy bases and hopefully capture them. So we're going to have our ground forces battling the enemy ground forces, and as air support, we have the power to influence the course of the battle and help our ground forces to win. Okay, so this is sort of a tutorial mission for the campaign mode here. The primary objective is disable Ichirin forward base, which is this one that I'm looking at right here. So we have to just destroy these ground forces that are leaving from the base and then wait for our ground units to capture the base. So, oh my god, there is so much text on the screen now. That's a little bit confusing and kind of overwhelming here, but we're sitting on a runway. We can choose what loadout we have right now. So we need to attack ground targets. So let's go with Strike, which has AIM 82s, Mark 83 bombs, and Mark 20 cluster bombs. So that's good for taking out ground targets, and we'll use that. Okay, so Mark 83 bombs are just dumb gravity bombs. You drop them, they hit the ground, then explode. Very simple. Mark 20 bombs are cluster bombs, so when you drop them, after like a set timer, they split off into like dozens of tiny little bomblets, which can then like spread out and cover a large area. So that's good for taking out armored targets like tanks. Like you can take out an entire formation of tanks with a single bomb if you drop these Mark 20s correctly. So we're going to take off with this. You can see what bombs you have on the external view of the aircraft here. So these bombs are very heavy, and they're going to affect our flying characteristics by a lot. So we need to attack Ichirin forward base, which is right here, off to my right. We need to destroy the ground units that are coming out of it, which we're going to use these, let's try the Mark 83s for right now. Okay, we have these targets on the ground, T-62, Mod 62. These are just the main battle tanks on the Soviet side. we're going to drop these bombs and hope that they destroy some of the targets. Okay, I saw the bomb hits there, but I didn't see anything in the kill feed. So that means that both those bombs missed. And because it's just a single bomb, it does have a splash radius, but not enough to help with those misses. So I'm going to use these cluster bombs now. These targets are stopped, so this should be easy. There we go. There's one bomb away. There we go. So it's a cluster bomb, and I took out one tank out of those three. Also, there is enemy flak firing at me right now, so I need to keep moving, otherwise they will hit me. So these cluster bombs are useful mostly for taking out vehicles. Oh, and there's also enemy aircraft in the sky, but luckily I have friendly aircraft that are taking care of those. So I can focus on the ground attack here. There's another bombs away. Yeah, so these cluster bombs spread out and kind of cover a large area at the altitude I'm dropping them at. If I can get the angle right, I can actually take out multiple aircraft, or multiple tanks with a single bomb. Let's try it on these T-62s over here. So there is significant travel time for the bomb. I'm not leading them enough, and I'm only hitting a single vehicle at a time. It's really hard to get lead on these targets when they can just stop moving at any time. Like, they can start or stop moving, so it's difficult to aim these. Okay, I'm getting flak fire now. Okay, believe it or not, I got 0 kills out of that. I don't know where those went. Let's see, the only other missiles or arms I have right now are AIM-82s, which are anti-aircraft missiles. So I can continue dropping these bombs. I only have one left. Wow, that flak is getting very accurate. I don't know where that bomb went, but apparently it missed. So now I need to land back at the airfield to rearm and refuel my aircraft. That was a very hairy landing there. Alright, I'm actually crashing right now. Yeah, that was not a good landing. Alright, now, luckily on these campaign missions, you do have the ability to launch multiple aircraft, I think. So that one just crashed, killed in action. Yeah, sure. I can start another sortie with the same game. Select loadout, strike, continue. gonna go for another attack run with these Mark 20 cluster bombs, and hopefully I can actually score some hits this time. There we go, got a lot of good hits there. That destroyed most of their tank force around Ichirin forward base, so now the friendly ground units can probably capture it very easily. There is still some flak there which is shooting at me. I can hit those with cluster bombs as well. And also I can attack the units on these other bases. That flak is actually shooting at me. I should probably dodge that. See, our ground units are now getting close to capturing this base because we took out all the defenses there. So I guess that's the main goal for what this developer is aiming for, is having like a dynamic missions like this where as the air support you can tilt the battle in your favor, but you still require all your ground forces to complete the mission. I'm going to try to use these dumb bombs to take out these tanks. Go. Took out some of those vehicles. Don't see any more vehicles down here. And it looks like we're going to be able to oh, yep. Our friendly units are capturing this Ichirin forward base now. Capturing is 28%. So just give it a couple of seconds there and we'll actually complete this first mission. So the missile lock tone actually started growling there, so potentially you can fire these infrared anti-aircraft missiles at ground vehicles. But that's kind of a waste of a missile. Yeah, it hit the tank, apparently did no damage. Let's see, this Ichirin base is 85% complete. There we go, Ichirin forward base has been captured, primary objectives complete. So that's all the objectives on this mission. So we can end this sortie. And we can look at our after action report. We destroyed 10 armored vehicles there. Pilots remaining. We lost one pilot because I crashed. And okay, so that mission was completed. So M1 simple mission. This is a very simple mission to test objective stars. And our objective for that mission was to disable Ichirin base. So we successfully completed that. We got 2 stars. So mission 2. Now we need to disable Marasa base as well as Ichirin base. And we can get it potentially up to 3 stars there. And then that's basically the only real objective system that's implemented right now, is just capture these bases. Oh, we can select the loadout before we take off there. So instead of what I was using before was the strike loadout, which has dumb bombs and cluster bombs. There are other loadouts I can choose, like close air support, which has 2x M82, those are anti-aircraft missiles, 2x AGM-65s, Those are anti-tank missiles, and then more cluster bombs. So this is a good loadout for taking out tanks, but the thrust to weight ratio is less than 1. So that means that we're going to have very poor flying characteristics here. But let's continue. Okay, so we have AIM 82s. We can select AGM 65s and lock on to individual vehicles. Okay, this is a big column of vehicles, so cluster bombs would actually be useful here. Hopefully we can actually get a decent hit with the bombs. I only got 2 tanks out of that entire column. Okay, so that's the downside of cluster bombs is the bomblets themselves are rather weak, and they're spread out pretty far, so it's difficult to get a target or hit a target from long distance. But if you can get the angle and the distance right, you can take out an entire column of vehicles with a single bomb. And now that this column's mostly been destroyed by friendly forces, we can use these missiles to take care of the rest of it. Too close to use the missiles. One of these missiles to be able to take out precision targets from a distance instead of using bombs. So unlike in Ace Combat, you can't just use the regular missiles against tanks. You actually have to use a dedicated anti-tank missile. Okay, that's all my cluster bombs gone. Hope I can actually get damage with that. Nope, looks like I didn't get any hits from that. Those targets were probably moving, so I didn't lead them, so all the bombs just missed. So I can rearm missiles and bombs and take off for another mission. Okay, taking off this with this heavy loadout is quite tricky, even with Stovall. Like, if I didn't use Stovall, I'd probably just run off the end of the runway and crash immediately. But even using the nozzles to take off vertically, it is not, it's pretty close to the end of the runway there. We'll try to fly low to use the cluster bombs at a shorter range here. Now, forward base was already captured. Just go ahead and, oh my god. So I was flying too low there and I got hit by my own bombs. I was flying too low and I got hit by my own bombs there. Okay, we have the close air support loadout here. I'm going to try this again without shooting myself down. Okay, so one of the objectives was to capture Eachrin forward base, which already happened, and the next one is to capture Marasa garrison. Solid hits on those BTRs. Destroyed almost the whole column there. So there should be enough friendly power to capture Marasa now. And there's still a handful of targets left over by Eachrin. One thing that's unrealistic about these games is that you can very easily take out tanks with your aircraft cannon. Taking out a tank is difficult even for an A-10, which has a large aircraft cannon. I think this one is just 20 or 25 millimeters, so we definitely could not take it out from like anything other than like extreme point blank range. But whatever, it's a video game. Okay, I might have been so low that the bomb didn't hit the target or it failed to explode. I don't know what happened there. Because it is shooting at all of our M113s. That looks like someone else got it. That flak was getting very close to me. That looked like a solid hit there, but all the bomblets missed. I need to make another attack round. Very difficult to line up these bombs whenever the flat cannons are firing directly at you. all those cannons. I'm out of bombs anyways. Out of missiles, so I can only use guns now. But looks like all of our friendly vehicles are getting close enough. Those might be enough to take out those flat cannons. So if we can capture Marasa, then that would be mission complete. Yeah, we're already 50% there. Alright, there we go. We captured Marasa, so that's mission complete. Alright, we're going to go to the next campaign mission here. So, mission 3, multiple secondaries. Alright, that's... I'll be honest, this is just the same gameplay as the previous ones. You just have to capture the bases. But let's go ahead and do it again. So this game is made by a single developer, and that means that the content right now is quite limited. And aside from the quick missions, this arena campaign is basically the only other mission you can take. I know the developer's working on like some kind of new map or some kind of new mission area, but that hasn't been released yet, so I don't know for sure what his plans are for that. Let's see, actually, let's try to drop these bombs and then go dogfight some of the enemy planes. My gear and flaps were still out. So I missed with both of those bombs. Whatever, I'm just trying to dump them right now. Alright, so here we have enemy planes, which are just... these enemy planes were launched by these. They are dogfighting with our friendly planes as well. Kill feed recorded that as someone else's kill, so I don't know. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that was mine. I don't know what kind of plane that was. I couldn't see. There's another enemy plane out here nearby. Looks like a MiG-21. Blocking out in a high G turn. But luckily I managed to hit on target. Didn't get enough hits. base and try to take out some of these ground forces. Not a good landing either. What the heck? Is there a runway? Alright, those jerks just kind of crossed an active runway right there. That's not very nice. Quite dangerous, actually. Okay, let's go for close air support again. Or let's see what these other loadouts are. Ranged anti-tank. We have 4 AGM-65s. Endurance. We get a bunch of fuel tanks. High drag bombs. Mark 82 Snake Eyes. I have no idea what that is. Light attack. That's what it was earlier. Base attack. We got a bunch of gravity bombs here. Alright, let's just go with strike for now. Actually, I want to see what this high drag bomb does. Okay, so I have 4 AIM-9s and then 6 high drag bombs. So yeah, it does seem like it's very high drag because it's going to fall very strongly away once we release it. I think we need to get in close to be able to use this. I think these are just gravity bombs, but apparently they're high drag. I don't know what that means, but we can actually look up what it means in the data viewer later on. Anyways, these seem like they aren't cluster bombs, so we have to be very precise with them. Nothing. So already I don't like this. Let's go to something that's actually suited for anti-tank work. Had it there. Hold on, before we try this mission again, let's actually see what in the database what those bombs do. So we have munitions, bomb, Mark 82 Snake Eye, unguided 500-pound bomb with deployable high drag fins. The high drag fins allow this bomb to be dropped at low altitude, giving the aircraft enough time to escape the blast radius. Okay, so these are, I guess these are meant to destroy buildings, not tanks, which is why they were really bad at destroying tanks. Okay, so we have these cluster bombs, which are, these appear to be the only anti-tank bombs here, unless you get like a direct hit with one of these unguided bombs. Yeah, these are Maverick missiles. So anti-tank, electro-optically guided anti-tank missile. Okay, so we go back here. We need to disable Toramaru, disable Ichirin, and disable Murasa. Let's try to do it without crashing the airplane this time. So loadout, strike, loadout, close air support. That takeoff. I'm starting to get kind of impatient for these takeoffs. Fly by fast enough that they wouldn't hit me, but they got me. Oh my god, they took out everything on this plane. So even when I try to take off conventionally, that basically uses up the entire runway to take off. Oh my god. I need to slowly rotate the nozzles back to the rear position in order to fly normally. That's because I'm also carrying 6 bombs and like 4 missiles, so the Harrier is a small plane, and that's pretty much the limit of what it can carry. Got those anti-aircraft guns with the missiles. That target was taken out by friendly ground forces. I think there's still a few more targets around Ichirin. I'm not getting any hits on these bombs. I got some of those T-80s. There was like 6 of them, I only got 2. Let's see, the only missiles I have left are anti-aircraft missiles, so just need to go in for guns this time. Let's go land at base and rearm. Okay, we just need more close air support for the next base. Hold on, there's very little around here. Let's try to do a U-turn here. Alright, looks like we already captured Ichirin. Next we need to capture Marasa and then the final one. I don't remember the name of the final one. Okay, looks like there's a lot of targets around here, so we should be able to get something with these cluster bombs. BTRs, which our tanks will be able to take care of those pretty easily anyways. Let's try to line up an attack on the road instead of just going across the road. That's going to actually help these cluster bombs hit something. And there's definitely close air support. Alright, so it looks like we're going to capture Marasa, and I need to rearm and reload again. Or refuel and reload again. I guess the last base we're capturing is called Show. Tank, anti-aircraft missiles. Okay, all this text on the screen makes it very hard to see where the runway is. I want to use one of these other loadouts, but for fighting mostly ground vehicles here, then cluster bombs are kind of necessary. Alright, let's use Strike. See if we can do something with these Mark 83s. Okay, Marasa Garrison was captured, so there's just one base left to capture. Oh my god, you gotta retract the gear to actually move fast. That's Ichirin, which we captured. Marasa, which we also just captured. There's still one enemy vehicle here on the road to Marasa, so we need to take this out. There we go. That's going to be very precise. Alright, let's try to finish this mission without getting shot down again. I think we just need to take this last base. What the heck? Alright, I just completely failed to take off here. Luckily, you can just kind of drive across the ground with pretty much no negative effects to your plane. Let's see if we can take off from this road. Alright, that growling sound gets kind of annoying. I think that's radar-guided artillery shooting at me. I probably shouldn't get closer to that base. Okay, I'm out of cluster bombs now. I can still take out the remaining targets with my gun. Oh, that's what's shooting is with your Shilkas down there. I got a bomb off that. I got hit. Ooh, I got one of the Shilkas. Alright, I am playing very aggressively. I'm playing very aggressively, which means I'm also playing kind of stupidly. I just keep on losing all these planes. Okay, that was weird. It just kind of started rotating, even though I didn't tell it to. Oh, there's a flare and chaff system that I didn't even know. I forgot that was there. There aren't really any missiles that can shoot at you, so flare and chaff is only like minimally useful. I guess I could throw off the radar-guided artillery, but the best way to avoid that is just to not get in range. I keep on forgetting to retract the gear. So we've already captured 2 of these 3 bases. We capture the final one, that's a mission complete, and that will be all of the missions that are in the game right now. Okay, so let's dive on these, try to get low so we can get a good spread on the cluster bombs. I'm going to try to attack these Shilkas while dropping chaff and flares to see if that distracts them. Well, it looked like it helped survivability, but I got too close to that. Okay, healing free camera mode. So let's just look around and see what all the other vehicles are doing right now. So we can see that these BTRs are extremely brave because they're just charging directly towards these M1 Abrams. We are making surprising progress because these M1 Abrams gunners are apparently not very good. But you get close enough and the Abrams start hitting your shots. Sound design on these vehicles. Okay, I don't know what that detail is shooting at because there's... Is it trying to shoot at those planes? Because it's not going to... No chance of actually hitting those. And you have the M113s, they're also charging in front of their armor support. We have some T-80s that are still alive. Oh yeah, there's this T-80 that's, looks like I dropped a cluster bomb in this thing, but did not take out the, I only took out one of these tanks. The other one is still here. Yeah, we still have some T-80 units here. Then around the base defense, we still have a couple of Shilkas and CSUs. And there's one Shilka over here. Alright, so let's drop back into the Harrier and see what we can take out there. What is happening to this plane? It started like rolling and pitching just from rolling down the runway. Alright, so we can probably use these AGM-65s to take out those tanks. They aren't really clustered tightly enough to use a cluster bomb. But I kind of want to use these missiles against the Shilkas instead of the tanks. Anyways, we got 6 cluster bombs, so hopefully we can take out the, 6 remaining tanks with just these. Okay, it looks like the base is actually spawning more enemies. So there's more than just those T-80s we were looking at earlier. Try to use these Maverick missiles to take out the Shilkas. There we go. I think there were only 2 Shilkas left, so that should make it a lot easier to make an attack run. Now that the radar-guided artillery is taken out. Okay, I think there's still 1 Shilka left. Trying to figure out where the last Shilka is. Oh, there it is. Dropping flares the entire time I'm approaching here. Flares and chaff, so hopefully I think that's going to distract their radar, or just throw off the aim of the gunners, so it should increase survivability. Oh, they actually spawned extra Shilkas. I really don't want to go in for a gun run on the Shilkas. Alright, we have to go back to base and rearm again. Alright, we landed short of the runway, but that's fine. Is there anything that has... Okay, ranged anti-tank has more, well, it has the AGM-65s, but it doesn't have any cluster bombs. See, I want a lot of cluster bombs and a lot of Maverick missiles. So we're just going to use the close air support loadout again. Alright, hopefully on this attack run, we can actually take out the base and finish this mission. We're like 80% of the way there. We already knocked out the first two bases, and now we need to take out the last one. I see friendly planes that just flew by. Oh, there they are. Okay, there's still some Shilkas on base, so I would like to take out the Shilkas first, but I think they're spawning more of them. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of units now in front of the base, including those that are shooting at me now. The Shilkas are shooting at me. I just dropped a cluster bomb on them. Let's hope they don't hit me. Okay, I don't think any of the cluster bombs hit. So I need to get in lower so I can actually get a tight spread on the bombs. There we go, took out the Shilkas. At least two of them. There's at least one more that's still pinging me on the radar. I think it's right there. Now it's a ZSU. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I just launched the Maverick missiles at them. You know what would be really useful is a harm missile. guess right now the only choice we have is Mavericks. I think that was the last Shilka, so I should be able to do a bomb run now. Yeah, the only anti-aircraft left is these CSUs. Should be relatively easy to take out. Yep, still Shilka's here. Yep. Alright, I'm gonna give it one more try. I think these just spawned again. And I hope on this last try I can actually take out this base, because I'm getting a little bit tired of just flying back and forth from the runway to here. Alright, let's start a new sortie. Pilots remaining is 3. I understand that. Okay, let's do ranged anti-tank. So I think there's only... What is happening to this plane? Okay, that was weird. I need to get back onto the runway. Okay, so we have 4 Maverick missiles now. That should hopefully be enough to take out the Shilkas, and then I can just use the guns on the rest of the ground vehicles. I see like 4 Shilkas now over here. Okay, there's still 1 left. Every Maverick. Hopefully I can just take out the T-80s with the guns now. Okay, it looks like there's another Shilka on radar. I'm out of Mavericks. Oh, no, it's a ZSU, okay. Okay, it looks like another AA vehicle spawned over there. Another Shilka. Oh, I'm out of guns as well. Okay, I need to reload now because I'm all out of weapons. Well, I have these aim 9 notes, but that's just a waste of time. I really want them to make progress on capturing this base. Once again, it's hard to tell where the runway is because of all this text on screen. Okay, there we go. Take off again. Hopefully there aren't too many Shilkas that respawned. That's pretty much the only serious threat I have right now. Yeah, I need to do a U-turn on this runway before I can take off. Okay. Flying back and forth to base really makes you understand why Ace Combat has like the return line to quickly rearm instead of having to go all the way back and land on a runway every single time. I think our ground forces have gotten it closer, but I still need to take out these Shilkas to have a chance of doing anything else. That's all 4 Mavericks. Now I can only use guns. Alright, that's 4 hits on Shilkas. I really want to take out the ZSUs as well because that's just too dangerous. They probably won't hit you, but if they do hit you, it does a lot of damage. Okay. That's all the anti-aircraft here. Now I can just start taking out the ground targets. Just a couple more T-80s and we can finally capture this base. Oh my god, another Shilka just spawned. Okay, this is getting kind of annoying actually. It's just taking way too long to capture this base. And these Shilkas are keep spawning fast enough that I cannot destroy anything else. Honestly, this is getting a bit tedious to deal with the Shilkas constantly. And it doesn't look like our ground force got any closer, so I'm just gonna call that the end of the mission. We've gotten close enough to capturing the base. And remember, this game is still in early access. There's still plenty of bug fixing that you need to do, or not bug fixing, balancing, like level pacing and so on. It definitely has like the feel of like a simulator that can, like, there's a huge ground battle going on below, and you can influence the course of the ground battle. But right now, it's still just very tedious to capture this final base. So I'm going to call that the end of this mission. Campaign status, situation advantage, bases 4 out of 5. Yeah, so the primary objective was to disable show airbase, which I did not accomplish, and I am fine with that for right now. So hold on, let's go back into quick battles. Instead of a dogfight mission, let's do a strike mission. So we can actually set the enemy vehicles that we're going to have here, as well as the enemy aircraft that's going to be present. Oh my god, that puts us directly in front of the base. Okay, once again, there are Shilkas in this base, so I need to destroy these quickly, otherwise they're going to destroy me. Got me right away, and then I got both of the Shilkas. Okay, well, that is pretty much all the contents in Tiny Combat Arena right now. And the game is in early access. There's going to be plenty added in the future. I know for a while this game was developed by a solo developer, Y485. I think he mentioned on Twitter that he's hiring like extra people to help him out, so that will help it develop faster. And I've been playing this since it was released, and I've been playing the previous version that he released on itch.io. And I can say that he's made a lot of progress here, so it's still pretty nice to see all the development that's happened so far. But yeah, this final mission is just really tedious to fight. All right, that's going to be the stream for the day, guys. Thank you for joining. And next week, I plan on having another stream, either with another simulator like Gunner Heat PC or Tiny Combat Arena, or something similar in those veins, but I haven't figured it out yet. So thank you for joining the stream today, and that's everything. Bye.